The Social Engineers Toolkit in Kali Linux is set up for a number of social engineering and penetration testing attacks. You can see there's a full menu at every level that we're going to go through today. We're going to use one attack from one submenu in the Social Engineer Toolkit. But it is a really important toolkit to get to know, to understand. I'm just going to show you today how we can spot spear phishing, how we can stop spear phishing, and how we can train other people on how to spot spear phishing in our organizations and our families so that your friends and family don't get taken by scammers online. So let's first open up menu number 1, Social Engineering Attacks. You notice there are lots of other things down through here, but we're just going to take it one piece at a time. We're selecting menu number 1, Social Engineering Attacks. Under this menu, you see once again we have everything from Arduino-based attacks, mass mailers, payloads, listeners, infectious media generators. So we can inject malware into an MP4 or an MPEG movie that we send someone to a WAV file, to a Windows media file. We can send malware over wireless access points. We can generate a bad QR code that will take someone to the wrong website. So these are all social engineering related attacks. People think that they're getting one thing, we send them something for free, or give them a chance to click through an email or click through and watch a video, and you can see it's a really mean world out on the internet. People can use these tools for bad. You're just going to be using these tools ethically to teach other people and to train yourself on why it's so important to know what you're clicking through every time. In this first menu, all we want to do is click through to just the website attack vectors, number 2. And once again in the Social Engineer Toolkit, you'll see that just this one submenu, 2 submenus down, has a full set of 8 attacks. We have Java applet attacks, Metasploit browser exploits, credential harvesters, tab nabbing, that means taking over tabs in your browser, webjacking, so it makes it look like they're going to one site, but they're actually going to a different. Multi-attack, where you can combine 3 or 4 or all of these into a single attack so that if a person clicks through, you try everything all at once. A full screen attack, HTA attacks. All of these are things that you should get to know and come back and look through, because you should understand how vulnerable your computer is and how vulnerable your network's computers are, your family and friends' computers are. But we're going to use just one really clever spear phishing technique under the credential harvester. When it comes to phishing, we're usually trying to get someone's credentials, their username and their password. The credential harvester is the perfect tool for setting someone up for a spear phishing attack. So number 3, the credential harvester attack method, hit enter, 3 and enter. And again on this submenu, you'll see that there are lots of options for attacking or for testing your network. Number 1, you have web templates. These are templated sites that look like familiar things your users might go through. Number 2, the site cloner is what we're going to use. And then number 3, a custom import so that we can build something specific and bring it into the Social Engineers Toolkit. So if your site doesn't clone perfectly using the site cloner, you can actually make a copy of the HTML page of your organization's email login, for example. And then you can bring it in with a custom import. We're going to use the site cloner because Facebook has a public web login page, and we will use the site cloner to grab that site. So come with me to number 2, the site cloner. And now it's asking for the IP address of the post back. Well, what we're going to do is set up a fake Facebook page. It's going to copy that page and run it on our Kali Linux server. This Kali Linux VM is going to act like a web server in just a moment and copy that Facebook page. So we need to make sure that we're on the right network. So you can either come to the left of your screen and come to Terminal and open a new window, or while you're in the terminal here, we can come to File and open Terminal. We want to double check our IP address, so I'm going to increase the size. So in this separate terminal window, I'm going to check 2 things. I'm going to make sure that I can get my IP address, and I'm going to make sure that I've got outside connectivity because we just switched over to the public network. ifconfig will tell us our IP address. And we do have a 10.0.9.4. You're going to need this IP address later. So you remember your Kali Linux box, yours may be slightly different from mine. Mine is 10.0.9.4. That's going to be very important. 10.0.9.4. And let's just check to make sure that we have good outside connectivity. Ping www.google, for example, .com. And we are getting connectivity out. If you're not getting either of those things, you can either reboot your Kali Linux box, or you can just go through the steps to restart your network service with sudo service network-manager space restart. But let me get that ifconfig one more time. And my IP address is 10.0.9.4. We're going to memorize that, but we'll also copy it just in case we want to paste it. And then we can minimize this terminal window. So the IP address for the post back, that means where it should send the username and password, is this computer, our Kali Linux box. So we're going to right click and paste that 10.0.9.4 address. Adjust this to whatever your Kali Linux box's ifconfig said the IP address for your machine was on the public NAT. Make sure you're on the public NAT. That's our 10.0.9.4. That's how we can see to the outside world. So the IP address for the postback is 10.0.9.4 for me. Now it's asking us to enter the URL to clone. We're going to clone www.facebook.com. But you could add your bank website, your company's email login, your school, only your school if you are teaching your friends how to avoid and how to spot these social engineering attacks. You could enter your bank, your favorite social media site, your organization's email login. If you're doing training for your employees, they need to know how to spot all of those kinds of things, because attackers will try those types of sites. So we're going to clone the site www.facebook.com, and notice it tells you a few things when you run the clone. It says cloning the website login.facebook.com/login.php. Notice we just typed in www.facebook.com, but it found the login page specifically, and it's cloning that. And now it says it's running that on port 80. It also gives us the hint that we want to use sites that have a username and a password field on the same page. Well, let's just see locally what this port 80 looks like. All that means is that it's running a web server on port 80. That's the normal web server port. If I just say local host in my browser, that is the 127.0.0.1 address. That is the Facebook login page? How can that be? Well, we have cloned the Facebook login page, and notice it's sharing some information back here. It's saying that someone is on this Facebook page. So if I put Facebook login like Fred at flintstone.com and then give a password of "this is a bad password" and hit enter, login. It says, would you like Firefox to remember this login? We'll see in the password section why you should never store your passwords on a computer that you don't own, and you may not want to store them on a computer that you do own. Well, it didn't do anything, it looks like. It just took my information, but it says facebook.com/login again. Well, for most people, that just seems like, oh, I must have mistyped something, so they re-enter it. What the Social Engineering Toolkit has done is set up a clone and redirected the user to the real Facebook login page so that they're not as aware of what happened to them. But if you will look back here in the browser in our terminal window, my email address and password went to the password harvester, the credential harvester on my Kali Linux computer. This is damaging enough all by itself, but in the next lesson we're going to see how to send this out as a spear phishing attempt and do some really serious training for our users so that they understand how dangerous it is to click through a link, even one that looks familiar, and enter your information. Let's see how to make a spear phishing email in the next lesson.